Hi, everyone, and welcome to Faith in an Ever Changing World, Encouragement and Hope, Faith in Marriage series. And I'm Janet Harley, your host, and it is my pleasure to have with me this morning James and Justina Page. Hello, and thank you for joining me today.
Hello.
Hey, Janet,
Hello.
we're
Ah,
honored.
they are college sweethearts. That's so sweet. And they have been married for more than 34 years. James is an associate pastor and singer, musician in Texas, whereas Justina is an award-winning author, international speaker, lyricist, and actor. And Justina is also the founder and CEO of the Amos House of Faith. And it's a nonprofit organization serving the burn community. Together, they are podcasters for Marriage Matters. And I hope that we're going to hear something about that a little bit later. So, right after this, we will be hearing James and Justina's faith and marriage story. Stay with us. All right. So, James and Justina, if you will please share your faith and marriage story with us.
Well, as a young man, I went to college at the University of Missouri, and I was, I guess I was 19, 20 years old, very young, and very excited about starting a life apart from my parents and my family and my home. So
Mm-hmm.
I was there for about 1 year as a single man before this sweet lady showed up. She's a year behind me. I think I was a sophomore when she came in her freshman year. So that's how we met. We met through a gospel group.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
to add just a little to that, Janet, my
Yep.
husband came in from a spiritual background. He knew the Lord from a very, very early age. I
Mm.
came in, I had not heard the name of Jesus, literally. Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't, but I met someone. Well, actually, I introduced myself to someone. I told her it was something about her that I liked, and she said it was Jesus. And the long and short of it is, she began to have Bible study with me, and she brought me to the Lord. And I wound up getting saved and then joining this
Oh.
Bible study where he was the teacher.
Ah,
Yeah.
all right. So
So,
faith, it did bring you together, didn't it?
Yes, it
yeah.
did. Her love for the word. I mean, she as a
Mm.
as a baby Christian, she was just soaking up the word, and I love
Woo.
to teach the word. So it was just we built a friendship, a very strong friendship, based on just the study of the word, just loving the word, and she was growing as a Christian, and it was
Oh,
a wonderful friendship that later became something more. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And the real funny story about that, when it began, when my feelings shifted, I didn't understand that because I never really dated. I didn't really know men. I didn't even understand love. I didn't know that's what was happening to me. I didn't know I was crossing that bridge. So I thought something was wrong with me. And I had a prayer partner, and we prayed for from January to March every day
Wow.
about I had a secret prayer request, and I felt like my heart was dirty because I was starting to really like him. Yeah.
She was very innocent, very innocent.
Until my prayer partner said, "Look, we're going to have to call this out by name." And we were at the edge of his bed on our knees. And I
Mm.
told him, "I like James, my great confession." And he just fell backwards laughing. He was like, "Are you kidding me?" We've been praying for 3 months, and he had
Oh
to
my
explain to
goodness.
me that Christian women like Christian men like Christian women. So anyway, we had the big meeting, and I found out that he liked me, which blew me away. And we prayed about it, and then the end of it was him in a very sweet way. He asked me, because he also was my tutor as well. This is a very sharp man here. So
Mm.
I had left a book, or maybe he had took my book, and whatever happened, he called me and said, "You need to come pick up your, what was it, advanced algebra? No, it
I
was
don't remember.
Calc 2, Calc 3, I don't know, one of them calcs." And I ran there to get my book, and he said, "But wait, I have a question for you. Would you like to be the mother of our children?" And I was like, "Oh my God." And
Oh,
he was like, "You don't have to answer today." You know, he thought I was shocked. I knew who I wanted to marry. I was like, absolutely. But his birthday was the next day. So I
ah,
wanted to make it special. I wanted to answer him on his birthday. So I
oh.
bought all these balloons that said, yes, he was turning 21. I had 21 doves all saying yes, you know, and a birthday cake. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's how we met. And God really gave us a very solid foundation to walk us toward what we would have to face later. And we
mm,
all know that in life, trials come, trauma
mhm,
happens. And we had a very traumatic event to happen. We had a house fire in 1999 where we
Mm.
woke up to explosion, TVs popping, all type of things happening, just complete darkness. And I had to hit them in the head. I guess the carbon monoxide had put us all out. And you know, I'm screaming, the house is on fire. And it was really something to reckon with. The end of that is that we lost our 22-month twin son on site. And then myself and the other twin were severely burned. My husband, all the boys were burned, everybody was
mm,
burned, and
mm,
we lost everything we had.
mm. My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. And I know when something happens like that, um, it is just it's devastating. You can't hardly even think. Um, and faith sometimes it takes a while for that faith for you to feel the faith working again.
So my wife, she was actually in, I guess, a coma for a couple of months. And so during that time, I'm working with the kids. You know, they're being released from the hospital a little at a time, and so we have to find a place to stay. And I have to be at the hospital every day with my wife and another son who is in the pediatric burn unit. And so it's quite, as you say, a traumatic experience at the time. And I have to tell you that faith is the only thing that helped me together
Yeah.
at that point with my wife in a coma, another son in a coma, and being told that they may not survive, probably won't survive, trying to prepare a funeral for the son that we have lost, and at the same time take care of all the other kids. Then I had my job that I had to find time to get relief from in order to do all of this. So faith was the only thing that sustained me at that time. And I thank God for the faith community that we were connected to at the time. And so when my wife finally woke up, she had to be informed that we had lost a child, and she had to go through that grieving process. And so I had to be there all of the time. And then when she got out of the hospital, there was the recovery where she needed assistance in every natural function that she needed to do, so we had to be there together. So I think for us, because of the grace of God and how He prepared us
Yes.
beforehand, without our knowledge at all, to face such a trauma, this tragedy actually drew us together to a stronger platform of faith. I mean, we
Yes.
basically sort of
That's
it
wonderful.
solidified everything that we already, you know. It's amazing. You say you believe, but then when you get tested, you
Mm-hmm.
find out what you really have. And,
Exactly.
and I must say that the grace of God was just
Yeah.
abundant, both inwardly and outwardly. I mean, He brought in so many people to assist, and then somehow supernaturally, the power of God was just there to sustain us and keep us. You know, and
Mm.
I'm very grateful, and
And just so
everything
you're
we do now, we want to glorify Him because
absolutely, absolutely so thankful that you have him in your marriage and in individual lives. I've known friends who have gone through a loss of a child, and they really struggled and actually grew apart from each other and eventually separated and divorced. It's so that faith,
thank
thank
you.
the Lord, the faith that you had beforehand
Yes,
was your strength to get through this devastating tragedy in your lives.
yes.
And so that's, but I have known people that maybe either their faith was not strong enough or they just yielded, to that situation and
We know
was not
people as
able.
well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Janet, my heart goes out to those people
Oh,
because it
yes.
was an extremely difficult thing to go through. And I think
Absolutely.
um, the commitment that we make to each other as
Yes.
a couple,
Mhm.
um, if we would stick to it, like,
Mhm.
it's cute to say in the wedding ceremony, but there's a real reality to that, for better or for worse, in sickness
Absolutely.
and in health. When it comes to the
Mhm.
reality of that, I think it all determines our personal relationship and
Yeah.
then our joint vision and mission and purpose in life. And I'm
Mhm.
saying that because when I couldn't do anything for myself, I want to make it real plain. I mean, I couldn't even wipe my natural behind. I couldn't feed myself. I
Yeah.
couldn't bathe myself. He
Yeah.
had to do all of those things.
Wow.
And when he stepped in and did it, it's a man that's, you know, willing to serve his wife, to love his wife like
Yes.
Christ loved the
Yes.
church.
Yes.
And when he faced challenges, a woman who's willing to respect and honor her husband, and love him as well. So I
Mhm.
think I guess what I'm trying to get to is this point here. A lot of times what makes breaks a couple in any situation, even smaller ones, is when we're not serving each other. When we're looking to our personal needs instead of each other's needs. And that's one of the reasons I wrote the marriage set I wrote, the ABCs of a wife's needs, the ABCs of a husband's
Yeah.
need, because couples a lot of time are not focused on each other, they're focused on themselves.
Right, right, right. Well, I hope you're able to see the comments that some of the folks are. Uh, Dana Cryer, James, your smile is so contagious. Then Justina is sharing about the fire and a loss of a baby and everything. God bless you two beautiful children of God.
Well, blessings to
Yes,
you. Thank you.
yes,
Yeah, thank you
praise
so
the
much.
and
Yes, I
then
think his smile is
and
cute too.
Carol Caffarel. Hey to everyone, what a great couple. So thank you all for commenting um, and for watching. So I hope that your hearts are touched just as mine is. But
So
yes,
we're now doing a marriage
yeah,
podcast.
that's the next thing I wanted to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead. Yes, please tell us
So,
about
so
Marriage Matters.
right. So my wife has been moved for some time now to for us to do a marriage conference, and she has been led to start it with a podcast. Now that she's a podcast expert,
Oh boy.
uh, he decided to bring our 34 years of marriage and our teaching on this subject and our sharing from our hearts on this subject to the podcast world. And we're very excited about Marriage Matters, where we want to shift the focus from our own happiness to the true purpose of marriage, and that
Right.
is to represent Christ and the church. So
Mm,
marriage is a display on our level of God's love for his people, right? I mean,
mhm.
so we want to properly represent who he is and what we mean to him and what he means to us, and we're just playing it out in our daily lives. And we actually have the privilege to model this in
Yes.
marriage. And so we want to try to share this in the most biblical way that we can, and in the most
Right.
honest and transparent way that we can, hoping that we can encourage and build other marriages. And
Absolutely.
that's been our
Oh,
goal.
what a great ministry that is, and for you all to work together, to
Yeah.
minister together, and to minister to us. And so, just that's wonderful. And I have actually gone ahead and put links uh, in the comment section.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And
Thank
so, yes, absolutely. So I do encourage you to, Justina has her purple thoughts. She loves purple. Notice they are in purple. And but she has her own podcast, but together they have Marriage Matters, and so important today for all of us. And so please check them out. Click on those links and uh, join them in their
Yeah,
podcast.
can I share something real
Sure,
quickly
sure.
about the podcast? Something that I really like people to get involved in on Wednesday. So we the podcast we have weekly Wednesdays and Fridays. Wednesdays is the main teaching, and also we'll have our. I mean, Friday's the main teaching. I'm sorry, thank you. And then also the every month we are interviewing a couple. But on Wednesdays, every Wednesdays, we have what's called a transparent moment with brown sugar. I call him brown sugar, with brown sugar and sweetie. He calls me sweetie. And where we're answering your questions about our relationship. There's no
Mhm.
off, no taboo questions. We're
Yep.
just going to answer them just as honestly and as transparent as we
Mhm.
can. So,
Mhm.
anyway, I want to encourage the listeners, just email us the questions. We'll put them in rotation.
Yes.
Also good.
I have listened to their podcast, and they do. They are transparent, they are honest and sincere, in answering your questions. And so, but thank you all both for being my guest today. Oh, what a
Yeah.
pleasure! Just touched my heart. And yes, and so maybe we can do this again one day. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. And now thank you all for watching. And I want to thank also my friends and family at Creative Motion Network. It's on Roku TV. So you can not only watch my show here, this broadcast, but also so many, 100 or so other shows and movies that are faith based, family oriented. Thank you, Creative Motion Network. And thank you again for you all for watching. Have faith and look up, friends, where our help comes from. God bless. Bye.